I always have a tremendous burden in my heart for young men, especially in this time in which we're living, when the world is in an upheaval, when nations are being cast down, rulers are being turned over to foolishness, and God continues to reign. These are the worst of times. These are the best of times. Because I serve a king whose kingdom never ends. I serve a king who is incorruptible. I serve a king who has proven himself to me by his own blood on the tree. I serve a king who has never failed me in the few years that I have walked upon this earth. Though all hell break loose, I am encouraged and I am strengthened, not by some inner will, not by some inner force, but by the grace of God, knowing that whatever comes, my Lord reigns and his kingdom is just. Matter of fact, I'm so tired of so many words with so little power. I'm here today, young person, that you might be transformed, that you might be changed, that you might become something you're not, that you might belong to him, truly belong to him, lock, stock, and barrel, every part of you, that you would stop being a child, that you would stop acting like silly little boys, that you would become men, but true men, not conform to the image of some silly superhero that is neither a hero nor super, but conform to the image of Christ, because brothers are suffering, brothers are being put in prison, brothers are dying. A young man, 21 years old, a few weeks ago, who works with our missionaries in Myanmar, was shot to death. Now put that in light of this, your video games. I traveled through the Middle East, I traveled through Asia, I traveled through Africa. I seen 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 16-year-old men. And I come back here and I find 35-year-old boys. There needs to be a wake-up call. A wake-up call. But it is not gathering you together and turning you into some kind of self-willed, self-strengthening soldier. We don't need that kind of men. We need men who depend upon Christ and seek to be conformed to the image of Christ and are dedicated to Christ. We don't need muscles. We don't need strength of will. We need men who know the Word of God and depend upon it. That's what we need. I'm always reminded of a young man that I knew that went into the jungle with me several times. And there are places in the jungle that literally I've seen men break down in tears. They can't go anymore. But it really doesn't matter, because they're so deep in that even if they took off at that very moment, they still wouldn't make it out for 7 or 8 days. They feel like they're in the middle of hell. And this one man would go in with me, this one young man. He was scared of his own shadow. If the boat broke down and we had to jump out in the swamps and get under the boat and clean it off, he was terrified to do it. If we were hiking through the jungle, he was terrified of the snakes and the spiders and everything else that could get him. But I so appreciated that young man. Why? Because he did it anyways. Even though he was so afraid, so timid of everything, he did it out of love for Christ and out of love for souls. We need soldiers. We need young men willing to die, because I want you to know that in this world today, all over the world, there are young men your age in prison who will die but will not back up. Not because they have muscles and can deadlift 405 pounds. It's because they love Christ and Christ loves them. And some of you young men need a kick in the pants. You need to stop being baby. While the world is about to tear us apart, we can't even decide what bathroom to go in. We need men. We need men. Men.